Here is a great way to start. Hey everybody, this is DM Mike, and today we're going to talk about box text. This is a radio drama, but these are minute radio dramas. They're very, very tiny, right? They're not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're not original scripts that I'm doing and spending time writing, editing, all that kind of stuff. This is stuff taken directly from any campaign module that you're playing. And I think I've talked about this, how I was going to take some box text, not all. That's a mistake. Oop, that's a mistake. Don't do it all. But I took a couple samples, one from chapter 1 and one from chapter 3, that I want to give to you today just to listen to. They're each about a minute or less. They're not as complicated and robust as the other radio dramas, which are more, I would say, cinematic in their scope. But I wanted to highlight these to show you what I've done and their importance and how you could use this in your own campaigns. It's a great way of just starting out in radio dramas. So anyway, let's go ahead and do the first one. Doesn't need a lot of introduction, because if you're running Hoard the Dragon Queen, then I assume you're just, you're interested, you're reading the book, or you know a little bit about it. But this one comes from chapter 1. And it's when Langdedrosa comes up to the keep, to challenge the player to a duel. All right, let's go ahead and play that one. From the darkness, a creature strides into the dim light of the dying fires around the keep. Although it is shaped roughly like a human, it is at least 7 feet tall. Its skin is covered in blue scales. Its fingers bear wicked claws, and its face has the muzzle and reptilian eyes of a dragon. The creature stops about 80 yards from the main gate of the keep and scans the walls. A line of kobolds fans out behind it.
This way.
With their spears, they prod 4 human prisoners into the dim light. You can make out a woman, a teenage boy in a blood-soaked tunic, and 2 children. Then, the half-dragon creature hails the keep.
Defenders of Greenest, this has been a successful night, and I am feeling generous. Do you see these 4 pitiful, useless prisoners? We have no need for them, so I will trade them back to you. Send out your best warrior to fight me, and you can have these 4 in exchange.
So there you go, folks. That is the first one that I took from chapter 1. And of course, you hear Langdedrosa walk up to the keep and challenge the players to a duel. It just worked really well. I thought that if any box text out of chapter 1 worked, that was it. All right, so let's go to the second box text that I used. If you are a player in my campaign, you might want to skip this because you haven't heard it yet. This is in chapter 3, and we have not made it to this section. So if you're a player in my campaign, look, just turn it off and watch it in a week from now. You'll be fine. If you're still with me and you have not, you're not playing in my campaign, this one takes place in the Dragon Hatchery. I think it's in area 12 or 11 where the Dragon Shrine is. And I just wanted to bring that to life, right? So here it is, the next piece of box text from chapter 3, the Dragon Shrine. This chamber has been enlarged and reshaped from its original form. The floor and 3 of the walls are smooth, and stalactites and stalagmites have been polished into gleaming columns. Every surface glistens with moisture, and the air is warm and humid. The flat walls of the chamber are decorated with shallow, abstract carvings of dragons. Dragons' tails coil into intricate patterns and knots that flow across the walls. The creature portrayed in the northwest corner stands out, a 5-headed dragon rising from an erupting volcano. Other dragons, which seem dwarfed by the 5-headed monstrosity, flock to its side. A
small wooden chest with silver and mother-of-pearl inlays sits on the floor in the corner, in front of the monstrous dragon carving.
And there you have it, folks. That is the two different examples of box text that I use. Just one from chapter 1 and one from chapter 3. And that's all I've gotten so far. All right, so why did I bring this up? Well, first of all, it's part of the campaign diaries. It's part of the radio drama, so they're going to go into the playlist because I want to keep track of everything I have done for this campaign until the very end of this book. But two, I wanted to give you just an example. This is something you can do to start off your radio dramas. You don't have to do like some of the bigger examples I've done with the huge cutscenes and stuff. I think that does come later. I think that does take time. It takes a little bit different skill set. It definitely takes a lot more time. And just resources to get there. You start at one place and you get good, and you get better and better and better and better. Next thing you know, you're doing cinematic radio dramas. And that's not to be braggadocious by any means. It's just like, you start small and you work your way up. So if you're thinking about doing radio dramas, I wanted to give you this example because that is a great way to start. Go through whatever book you don't have to be in Hoard of the Dragon Queen. I don't know what you're running, but if you've got a good solid book from Wizards of the Coast and you're flipping through there and you like a piece of box text, bring it to life. And you don't have to do a million things. It could be simply narration, music, and maybe some kind of ambient. That's it. I think really the second one I gave you, I think it really captured all three of those things. There wasn't a lot added to it. It runs under a minute, which means it takes like an hour to do. But, it's very contained, right? So if you want to, you're liking the radio dramas or you like the idea of radio dramas, a great place to start is in those little tiny box texts. Now, don't do every box text. That's ridiculous. It would just be too much. I mean, sometimes in a chapter there's many box texts. And frankly, 95% of the box texts aren't worth reading. They just aren't worth as far as bringing them to a radio drama. Matter of fact, I never really read the box texts when I'm running a campaign. I don't know. I just don't. Some people do. Some people don't. I don't. But some of them I will turn into those radio dramas, micro radio dramas. So if you want to do this, start there. Start with those little things. And then when you're reading a chapter and you're reading, I guess they are broken up in chapters, and you find something in the exposition that is really compelling. This is how it starts for me. The exposition that's really compelling, or something a character does, or you read the end of the book and see what's about to happen. That's what I typically do. I read the first chapter and the last chapter. Not much in between. I slowly work my way through the book, but the first chapter to see how the story begins and the last chapter to see how it ends, so I can start to foreshadow things to come, right? There's little techniques there. But anyway, go through that. If you're running Rage of Demons, which I want to run next, Curse of Straw, whatever it is, pick them, take your time, pick them wisely, get the ones that have, a little bit of dialogue, maybe no dialogue, maybe they're just descriptions, and they really kind of set up an atmosphere and tone and bring them to life. And just something as simple as that can really change your game. Because, I know I've said this before. To me, it's all about verisimilitude. To me, it's all about trying to bring you in that experience as strongly as I can. And I've always felt like music and sound effects are the two biggest things that do that. All right, unless we're all playing in VR, which I'm sure we are one day, it just ain't gonna happen. These two are very, very powerful verisimilitude pillars you can use. Right? All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got today. I'm working on the next radio drama, and then we actually play this Friday, so that's why the videos have been a little anemic. Nothing's been happening, but we play this Friday, and we probably will maybe finish chapter 3, maybe not. I don't know, but we're still working through it. So anyway, that's. Yes, this is what happens when you move. All right, guys, that's all I got. I will see you in the next video.